Today we are going to study about intellect and the process of learning. And we're also going to understand how when we change our intellect, we change our whole life. My name is Kobi and I'm from the Vagabond Temple, and this is part of our method. So intellect is such an important part of our life because when we have this assumption on reality, it can actually picture the whole reality for us. To make it more clear, think that perception is such an important thing. When we see something, we see it through the filters of our mind. We see it through the way that we believe things are happening. So we cannot see reality without our filters. We cannot see reality as it is. To bring an example, a dog sees reality in a very different way than what a human being is seeing reality. Which one of the ways is reality? The reality of the dog is the reality of the dog, and the reality of the human being is the reality of the human being. But we also have differences between ourselves. The way that I see reality is very different than the way that you see reality because of conditioning, the way that we were growing up, and the belief systems that we have. So when we change the way that we see reality, we actually change the reality for ourselves. This is why intellect is so important. Everything that we learn have three stages of learning. The first is just hearing the information, receiving the information from outside. We get some information from the newspaper, we read a book, we listen to a lecture, we get some information from the world, from the outside. Then we have this reflection on this information that we got from outside. This reflection or understanding or thinking about it is really important as well, and it's part of the process. It's actually what makes it more personal, and we understand it in our terms. But this is not where the process is ending. The process has to end. If we really want to know something, the process needs to end with application. So we need to take this process of understanding and then bring it into action, bring it into our life, bring it into becoming a habit, being something that can actually affect our life and bring some change that we want to have. So to repeat, we have the three stages: hearing, and then thinking, and then bringing into action. So we bring all this information inside. It's really important that we will be aware where we are bringing the information inside from. If we take all of our content from social media and from television, all the content that we have will be very much filtered by these agendas that the media has. But if we take the information from resources that are really tested and long-lasting, proven methods to understand the reality of things, then we can actually bring a content that can be transformative to our mind. Then the action would be to take this information, to take this knowledge and make it our own, reflect on it, think of it, think of how it actually can manifest in my life, in my terms. Then the next stage would be, okay, now can I put it into action? Now can I take this information that I was given and bring something else, bring something to my life that will change the course of my life and will actually make me a better person, will make me happier, and will make me more successful. So in the part of intellect, we actually want to learn as many philosophies as possible, philosophies that can really resonate with us and change the outlook that we have on life. It doesn't have to be a specific philosophy like Buddhism or yoga. It can be science, it can be reading books, it can be literature, it can be any information or any knowledge that is resonating with us and can actually bring transformation into our life and bring us into a better point. Another thing that I want to mention about intellect is that when we change our intellect, we actually change our emotions. An emotion comes from the thoughts, from the belief systems that we have. If we are thinking about the world as a bad place, we'll also have bad emotions in our heart. But if we'll have this understanding that the world is actually an open, lovely place, then we'll have the same kind of idea in our heart, and we'll also carry this kind of emotions into our everyday living. So we want to have an understanding of what the true nature of reality is, to understand how things work. When we understand, for example, that fire hurts, that we shouldn't touch fire, it's such a good thing for us because then we know how to operate in the world. And when we know certain things about the universe, certain things about life, certain rules that makes the world what it is, then we actually have an operation system of how to operate in this world and how to make ourselves happy and also how to be in service to others and to understand our purpose and so on and so on. The intellect can also help us understand all the other parts of our method. Because if we do all these energy practices, mind practices, heart practices, and purpose practices, we need to understand where they come from. We need to understand them, we need to realize them, and we need to go through the process of learning for each and every one of them. So it can really help us to go through all the method and to be a baseline for our transformation. We recommend to practice intellect all the time, to listen to new things, to listen to new philosophies, to understand different spiritual teachers and scientists, to really understand the nature of the world. When we understand the nature of the world, we understand ourselves much better, and we know how to operate. We know how to bring this information inside and to make it into something useful in our life.